Hey, we're a band of gamers and we need your help. If you love this podcast, do us a huge favor. Tell one other person you know that you think will love this podcast as well. It helps us out a lot and we'll be forever grateful. Thanks for tuning in.
Hey, hello, welcome. You're listening to a Band of Gamers podcast. This is episode 207.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you every time now. In this episode, we've got Nintendo Switch as a complimentary console. We knew it. We said this last episode, but now there's some data that just came out that supports our theory. The new consoles coming this fall will more than likely be expensive. Not shocking news. What is the limit on what you'll pay? We've got community responses from our Twitter and Facebook group. Then we'll share our thoughts, what we're willing to spend, and a feature that could make the cost of those consoles worthwhile. What is it? In games, we've got my friend Pedro, River City Girls, and some Grand Theft Auto 5.
What? Is that like backlog last gen we're talking? Nah. Stay tuned.
I'm Joel, your MC, one of your three co-hosts, recording in a suburb of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, USA, pretty close to Milwaukee. Joining me on this podcast journey, we're a man down, but we've got from across the globe, in beautiful, usually sunny, sometimes snowy, Vancouver, Canada, the king has returned. It's Shane.
Yes, the Gypsy King. Tyson Fury is back on top of the heavyweight division in boxing. He had a great fight last night on the 22nd of February. And as a big boxing fan, as you know, had the boys over, a couple great pies, not too many drinks this time. We took it easy. It was a short night. Fury got the job done inside 7 rounds, and it was a fantastic night, and stoked to see him back on top.
We couldn't go a whole episode without Karl. So he recorded some bits. We're going to throw them in. So joining us remotely, pre-recorded, from sunny San Francisco in the USA, the Birdman of Alcatraz himself.
Ha!
It's Karl.
San Francisco. Well, it makes a change not to be saying hello from Birmingham. Grey old Birmingham. Today I'm in the sun. And it's been nothing but sun since we got here. God, it's so nice. Such a lovely city, San Francisco. Was in the park, gone cycling over the bridge, just had a good potter about, been on the cable cars and Alcatraz and stuff. I tell you what, this is a great place. I understand why it comes hardly recommended. Saturday this morning, I am recording on Sunday, but this is a little tiny snippet. You won't hear from me too much this episode. I should be, diving in and put my little comments here and there to, just leave my mark, I don't like to leave these boys alone for too long. I'm currently sat looking at my hotel window, looking across Union Square at Macy's while I finish off a lemon meringue cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory in Macy's with a cup of coffee. Looking at the blue sky, hear the cable cars go past, look at the birds. It's a hard life. It really is. But I'll be back with you next week, and I'm sure John and Shane have got a ripper of an episode lined up for you. Ta-ta.
I sure hope so, Karl. We're going to give it our best, right, Shane?
Yeah, so he's in San Francisco. Did I hear that correct?
Yeah, and I just missed him. So I was in San Francisco. I went there to see Mr. Bungle. What an amazing show that was. Shane, I have no tattoos, and I want, the album cover of this concert on my arm. I swear. I'm having, a midlife crisis.
You get zapped.
I need that tattoo on my arm from that concert. I don't know how I'm going to pull that one off, but it was a great time, and I just missed him by 2 days. Or 1 day, actually. We flew out the same day he flew in. And I'm sort of kicking myself that we didn't extend our vacation just to have that little bit of crossover, just to see Karl there.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get a pint together, but yeah, San Francisco. What do you need to get a job at Google out there, or what's he doing?
Yeah, man, Mr. Vacation himself. I mean, the man's got more vacation time than I think you and I combined, Shane. It's pretty enviable.
Yeah, I hear he's going to be in San Francisco. He's in San Francisco right now, and then he's taken off. And I've heard that he's going to spend a couple nights sleeping outside. I don't know, maybe just to blend in with the locals. So
Yeah, Tenderloin District, you'll fit right in, sleeping on the sidewalk there.
San Francisco's a beautiful city. I've been there a couple times in my life. It's fantastic. A great spot on the West Coast.
It sure is. And judging from the intro he wrote for himself there, I hope he visited Alcatraz. That's one of the coolest tourist places to go in the United States, my opinion.
On my bucket list. I didn't get to go when I was there, but always wanted to see it.
Well, what do you think? What do you say we talk some video games before everybody tunes out from all of our jibber jabber about everything else?
This is a video game podcast, so yeah, let's get to it.
All right. Hope you're still hanging on here. Let's get into it. So the NPD, there's a survey that suggests 40% of Switch owners also own a PS4 or an Xbox One X. We kind of talked about this in the last episode because we had a poll out there on our Twitter asking people regarding the console wars, which we've had some fun talking about last few episodes. If you were to like put your flag down and battle for one, Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo, which would it be? And on our show with our listeners, Sony won. Xbox was a second. The Switch had 0 votes. Zilch. And we had some replies to the extent that, hey, you gave me the option of choosing all 3 or owning multiple consoles, which I think was one of our Twitter choices.
Yeah.
So nobody picked the Switch. And then we talked about it and kind of guessed, I think with a lot of our listeners, at least, who are older, let's say, more affluent males.
Yeah.
Mostly. They're owning multiple consoles. And that's what this survey data is proving out, that the context of the article was, will the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, will it cannibalize Nintendo Switch sales? And their assertion is nope, because those people are going to buy a Switch and own those other consoles. So interesting data here.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people our age have kids as well, and the Switch is, definitely a great place to start. Nintendo always is a proven ground for beginners to get into video games. It's always family friendly and whatnot, and for a lot of people in the poll, it's your go-to, your Xbox, your PlayStation.
Yeah, for me, having just traveled to San Francisco, that's like a 4-hour flight. A little bit of a layover too on the way there and the way back, which extends that travel time. Switch is fantastic, man. Pull that thing out in the airport or on the plane. You get a lot of, some great games on there, and it's like having your home console in your hands, really. It's a great system for that. I don't really play it much when I'm on the couch. I think I need to do more of that, but something about the large 4K TV and my PS4, right. My Xbox controller feels more comfortable.
That HDR.
Yeah. But the Switch is a great console. The Breath of the Wild machine for me. Once that sequel hits, I'm sure that thing will get a ton of use. And we just watched the new trailer or the new Nintendo Direct for Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
That just hit this last week. Showed that to my wife. Now I'm debating on if I need a second Switch, because I know once that game comes out, I probably won't be able to hold that Switch again for a good 6 months at least. She's drooling over that Animal Crossing. She's like, oh crap.
Sounds like you need that new Switch Lite that they just announced, and like that. It's kind of like a rose, kind of cherry blossomish color. Real man, that's a good looking console.
I saw that. And I was thinking about the Switch Lite for her, but actually the battery life on the new and improved Switch in the red box, the battery life is actually greater on that than it is the Switch Lite, which kind of surprised me a little bit. And with the amount of Animal Crossing, and I know from experience that she's going to play, I need to make sure that battery life is tip top, or she's going to be throwing that thing.
Yeah, you need that 4 or 5 hours solid of Animal Crossing battery.
You really do. And I'm not sure how much of a hog it'll be. And plus that Animal Crossing is online, hook up with your friends. So I ran into a buddy and we went and had dinner on Valentine's Day in San Francisco. Good friend of mine and his wife, was the 4 of us. And I completely forgot, but he remembered, and we talked about how Shay and PJ, my buddy PJ, quite a few years ago, went and did on New Year's Eve, we were all home, just kind of chilling, not dealing with amateur night out on the roads. And those two, I forgot all about this, met up in Animal Crossing and like watched the fireworks together.
How cool is that?
Right? And the game provides moments like that. So I can imagine she'll be jumping online and playing with everybody. And it looks like it's going to be great that way.
That's awesome, man. That's the best part about gaming now in this current generation of just, nights like, amateur night and just getting online, getting in a chat, talking, playing the game together and just enjoying it. That's so cool.
I'm thinking I might need we might need 2 copies of Animal Crossing in this house because it looks like a great game that her and I could play together. I'm just a little worried. It also looks like they're setting it up in a way that requires you, or if you grind really hard, I guess, which is normal in that game, but even harder maybe this time. I mean, you're talking like she'll be playing it every morning before work. She'll probably be playing it a little bit and I don't know if I want a game that's going to take or require so much time. As I'm trying to make my way through my backlog here, I don't know if I need that type of game, but it's very tempting.
Yeah, it should be.
Very.
I've
tempting.
never played an Animal Crossing game. I'd like to try it out. We'll see what happens.
In other news, lots of chat lately about the gaming consoles being expensive, and I suppose this is not a surprise. Last generation, where were we last generation? The Xbox One launched at $499. The PS4, $399, which they announced shortly after Microsoft announced the $499. And partially why, that and many other reasons why they dominated this current generation. But Sony at $399 at the launch sold a lot of consoles. Therein is my point. A $100 price difference. And obviously some other factors in there as well.
Yeah.
But it makes a huge difference in the adoption or the folks that go out and buy these consoles. PS3 came out at $499 for 20 gig, $599 for the 60 gig. Xbox 360 was $299. There again, the Xbox started the 360 very, very strong and had a hell of a, at least in the US, not worldwide, but US, hell of a start. And it launched first. PlayStation 3, I think, was a good 6 months. I think it came out the following spring later. But there again, that price difference, made a difference. People were, rather not get a second job, as Sony arrogantly told people to do at the time.
Right.
Which is a bad move. Nintendo Switch came out just, 2 years ago or so, $299. So very modestly priced. So Bloomberg just had an article on the 14th, Valentine's Day, that said that based on scarce components, that the manufacturing cost for Sony Corp's next PlayStation might be around $450 per unit. That's the manufacturing cost. That's what it's going to cost them to make the thing. So if they want to make money on it, $470 just to make $20 a console. So maybe like 500. I don't know. People within the PlayStation business, this is a quote from the article. So people within the PlayStation business unit said a key factor in deciding the ultimate PlayStation 5 price will be where Microsoft sets its price for the next generation Xbox Series X. The PS4, released in 2013 at $399, was estimated by IHS Markit, whatever that is, to cost $381 to manufacture, with the 450 unit cost and a similar margin, looking at like 470. So when the PS4 came out in 13, was $381 to manufacture. They priced it at $399. So if all things remain the same, they do just like a $20 profit, or 20. That's really not a profit. Still have to pay for advertising and everything else, shipping, distribution. So I don't know. Looks like this console is going to be $500 or more. The Xbox Series X with even more tech in it, even a beefier console, could be $550, $600.
Yeah.
All up in the air. Depends on if they want to undercut each other, if they want to sell a console at a loss. Honestly, I don't think they'll do that. What do you think, Shane? Do you think either one of these two companies are competing so hard against each other that they're going to sell the thing at a loss?
No, I don't think they're competing with each other that hard to do that. No, I think they're both going to make smart decisions. And the Xbox Series X being priced at $499, I think kind of set the benchmark for this type of technology. And I think that's where both these consoles will come in at. I think we'll see them both $499 US. For our Canadian friends up north, that's like $8,000 or something. No, it's not. It's like it'd probably be like $599 or something up here. But yeah, you're gonna pay a little bit more premium now. It's gonna be that way, and there's rumored of some features being included in there. So could be well worth it.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. And I lost my train of thought completely. Maybe we should get to that now. Crap.
Don't worry, I'm enjoying this this boombox beer. They're super ultra deluxe. It's like this double dry hop thing that they do. They had it last year and it was really good, and I picked it up again this year because they brought it back. And yeah, she's a tasty one. Easy to lose your train of thought with a couple of these.
And my train of thought lost with a Venture Brew Company, North Avenue here, Wauwatosa, Milwaukee area, Space Buds. It's a New England IPA. And the artwork, two tongues, like splashing out of the water. Great artwork, yeah. Great beer. Man. And delaying and trying to come up with my train of thought there, talking about something else for a second, multitasking in my head. I still can't remember where I was going to go with that. So why don't we get to the poll we put out there. We put it on Twitter. That's at A Band of Gamers. And we also posted it to our Facebook group. But why don't I read through the Twitter replies, and Shane, maybe you can cover the Facebook group replies. But we put the same poll in both places, and that is, what is your price limit for a PS5 or an Xbox Series X? How much are you willing to spend? Got some great responses here. I think we'll make some good conversation. So at Sean Franklin says $499 for a PS5. He's going to wait for a price drop to less than $300 for the Xbox Series X, and he spelt it S-E, lowercase e, uppercase X. Maybe nice. Xbox Sex. Very clever. At Joe Boston 617 said $499 is what I believe the PS5 will be. $550 to $600 is the most I'd be willing to spend. Maybe if it's $600, it'd be with an extra controller and maybe a game too. I don't know. That'd be cool. I'm not sure about that. Think they'll do a pack-in? Man, it's been a while since there's been like a pack-in game, right?
You never get pack-ins anymore. It really comes with at least at launch. It doesn't usually come with a game or a controller. I mean, I think an extra controller is kind of, those days are kind of gone, unless it's like Costco or a big box store or whatnot, bundling it in to move a couple of units or whatnot. But we just got to wait for a bundle.
Those Black Friday deals a couple years later. I mean, sometimes they throw some extra games in there, a controller. I miss the pack-in.
Yep.
But then again, you're stuck with whatever the game they decide to pack in. At least here you get your own choice. At Secret Friends U, which is another gaming podcast, said $500 for a PS5 since PS4 won't play next-gen games. I'll wait until the next iteration of Xbox, since I already have an Xbox One S and a gaming PC, and ray tracing and fast loading aren't worth the upgrade cost. At T. Paul and 20, as the resident cheapskate, my budget is $1,000 combined. I'm willing to spend up to $600 on the Xbox Series X at launch and wait for a deal on PS5. $1,000. I mean, that's what you're looking at least if you're going to be an adopter of both of these consoles at launch. At least. Dave Maloche, hopefully I'm saying your last name correctly there, buddy. Probably about $500 because I am going to hype train. But if it's that much, I'm not going to be able to day one it.
Nice. Sleeper hit 79. So less than 450 is no questions asked for either PlayStation or Xbox. 500 is maybe if there's good value, and 600 is a wait for a price drop.
Want to read Karl's? Since I don't know what that little dollar sign thing is. Help me out.
Karl, a good friend, Strathan, says, I think £400, maybe £450, mate, if bundled with a game, like, do you know what I mean? But honestly, mate, depends on the strength of the launch catalog for me.
Not a bad accent.
Yeah, his accent's all right.
I meant yours. At FemFox, considering the ridiculous price of the PS3, I can see me going as high as £600. Thanks for explaining what that means, Shane. To get a machine that is RTX ready with the new hybrid SSDs for way faster load times, I see it as a worthwhile cost over time. However, I see it being closer to £500. They'll want to make profit if possible, and there's a chance their components will go up in price before launch due to production shutdowns in China. It's also got to psychologically be better than the PS4 Pro, so it needs to cost more. That was a really intriguing thought, I thought. She's right. So if they price it the same as the PS4 Pro, are there naive consumers who don't understand all the nitpicky details? Are they going to be like, well, if it's not more expensive, it's not any better? I think there's something
quite
to
possibly. That's a good shout.
And then at Welsh Bino, or Benno, I've learned my lesson after being burned badly in the past. I won't be buying the first iteration of either console no matter what the price is. I will wait for the thinner, cheaper version to come out in a few years' time. I've got plenty to keep me going in the meantime. My hero. I wish I had that much willpower.
I got a couple friends that are like that as well. They never buy them at launch, and they wait for, the slimmer, revised version, and then once they announce that, then they're fully on board at that point.
I think with the way that this next console launch is shaping up, especially for Xbox, because they've already come out and said there's going to be no console exclusives. In other words, every game they put out, at least for the first year, maybe a little longer, is going to also be available, the first-party titles, on Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I mean, you could wait in that scenario. If you're an Xbox-only person, you're almost incentivized to wait because there's... Especially if
kind of weird.
Yeah, especially if there's a slimmer one in the first 2 years with, less a footprint on the entertainment stand and maybe another feature or two chucked in there like they sometimes do with the upgrades.
It's really weird. Got a great new console that's really, really powerful, but you don't have to buy it right away because the games you're going to be able to play, where it's just weird.
Yeah, but where it gets me, man, is they look better on the other console, especially if they have like the SSDs in there, where those load times should be way, way better, and it'll be better HDR and more 4K-ish and all that good stuff. So that's why I said it. That's why he's my hero. Because I go through the same thing. Shane and I started the show before we hit record here, talking about my guitars and how I spent 6 hours today, like just monkeying with knobs and pedals and amps because the tiny minute differences are so important to me, and it's really stupid because to the average listener or average console gamer, you would hardly even notice the difference.
Oh, guitars.
Beautiful.
We could go on forever about that.
Such a lovely instrument.
And over on Facebook, we got some replies. My friend John Cole simply says, ask my wife.
I love that. And my wife replied, oh, shit.
But at the end of the day, if you're sleeping on the couch, you're closer to the console and you get to stay up and play all night and you ain't got to worry.
Well
win,
said.
win, my friend.
Well said.
Our friend Billy Jack says $3.99. I figure I'll be a late adopter this coming generation unless something truly blows my mind. Demon's Souls remake would be this. Good shout. Jeff Chorney says, to be honest, I'll be getting one on day one regardless, if they are under $600. Me getting the other console within the next 6 months of the first one, they'd have to be about 400 Canadian or less. If that makes sense. It does make sense because, we all got budgets and there's 2 brand new consoles to buy, and budgeting that out to $1,000 is a pretty good idea. So,
yeah. Rick Smith, more Facebook group replies, unless they make it backwards compatible or update their classic libraries to HD, I probably won't buy another system, period.
Whoa.
$3.99 if they do. And Rick, he's a friend. He's kind of more on the casual side.
Yeah.
So he is definitely probably one of those people who give him backwards compatibility and he's going to dive on it. Otherwise, he may just stick with his PS4 for either forever or for many, many more years. I know he's getting a lot of love out of that thing. PJ Church, my buddy I just saw in San Francisco a week ago, says, I need backwards compatibility to get out since I skipped the PS4. The first PlayStation I haven't owned. Just never got around to it. And he is a Switch owner. So he's definitely dedicated to the Switch.
Nice. Ken Foley says, if PS5 is fully backwards compatible with PS1 through to the PS4, $500 is no problem. He says he'll even buy it day one, which he's never done before. And Billy Jack responded with, yay! I'd do the same for that, but I don't really think that would be possible. Yeah, that'd be fantastic, and a lot of people would take a great advantage of that.
Yeah, and we mentioned at the beginning of the show, there's one feature in these consoles that could get people to jump and not maybe worry about that launch price. And that came through those comments there. Backwards compatibility, especially if it goes all the way back, would be something that would, especially for people like maybe Rick Smith, who is sitting on a PS4 very happy, doesn't buy all the new games, gets them, a year later or whatever. So he always has a great selection to choose from. But if you make it all the way backwards compatible to the PS3, PS2, you would jump at the chance. And I think a lot of people out there would. And it sounds like what most people replied $500 would be that price point, which is high,
Yes.
but they still jump on it with the backwards compatibility.
Definitely seems to be the right in the pocket for a lot of folks, and it's probably what we'll see.
So Shane, what's your limit? So I know we got price differences between pounds with Karl in Europe and Canadese dollars up there in Canada, and I've got the US dollars. What is your limit, my friend? Or is there one? You buying PS5 no matter what? $1,000? Or do you have 1,000?
Yeah, don't either way, buddy. Believe me, it ain't gonna make a dent regardless. So, just punching the code on the machine. I don't even look anymore. I just punch it in. You want a receipt? Keep it. And I'm out of there. I'm prepared for the $5.99 price tag. With the Canadian dollar, still being crap. And I'm expecting a $4.99 US, so $5.99 Canadian's what I'm expecting and what I'm, preparing for. So that's, you gotta get it, man. But also, the launch games, whether it be a day one thing or wait a little bit or see how quick some friends pick it up or whatnot. So it's kind of up in the air. We'll see what happens. I'm with all the stuff going on right now in the world in the Asian markets and whatnot. I'm starting to think I'll be surprised if it does come out in 2020. I can see, in August or September, stuff being pushed back, just to make sure there's more units out there and whatnot. But yeah, that remains to be seen. But like I said, I'm prepared for $600 or whatnot.
So this is also rumored to potentially happen here, and it would make sense if it did. What if Sony and PlayStation came out and said the exact same thing Microsoft said, that there will be no new exclusives for 2 years? So all the new games that come out would be available, like Last of Us 2, for example, let's say, is going to be available on PS4 and PS5, and then maybe whatever other console exclusives come out. We already know the third parties are going to be doing this. because the install base is so huge on PS4 right now that when they make the new FIFA, the new Madden, the new NHL, the new whatever, they're going to put it on the biggest install base PS4. Probably put out a PS5 version as well. May not even upgrade the thing barely, right? Because the cost to do so would be great. Might just be a shinier version of it. If it were, let's say, $1,000, it's not going to be, for the sake of discussion, $1,000, even in Canadese, and there isn't a new game on it, you can play those games on PS4. Would that impact your decision, or are you still buying it day one no matter what?
Yeah, I'm still buying day one, I guess. I think it's like if there's no point of you buying this thing day one at all, are you still buying?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, basically. I mean, sure, why not? I mean, I got a really nice 4K TV that I bought, and the PS4 Pro doesn't really do it justice. It's great for watching Netflix 4K. Actually, it's brilliant for that. It's stunning. It's an unbelievable TV. But the 4K gaming, I just haven't really been able to experience, we'll say, with the Pro. The games in 4K have been kind of choppy at one point. It's not true or anything. So I think there would be an option with the next consoles that would take advantage of this a lot more, even for games that are produced for, PS4 and whatnot. So I wouldn't believe there would be no difference or anything. I think there would be, and I think it would still be. Yeah, I'd still get it. Yeah, I'd still buy a PS5, even if playing NHL or whatnot, it's the same game on the PS4. I'd still get the PS5 version.
All right. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm 47. I'm at that stage in my life, like a lot of you out there, where I can afford a console at $1,000 even. But in my mind, I'm sort of thinking like $600 might be the magic spot where I stop and at least pause. Like, that Xbox One X is
pause in the car outside of the store.
No, probably trigger finger on the online store, right? But
that's the thing, though, is like when it's in stores and you can drive out and pick it up and you could bring it home that night, the new and shiny. That's hard to resist, though. It'd be really, really tough knowing that it's out there and you can have it that night or the next day. It's all about the willpower.
Yeah, and I have none. I mean, I'll be honest. I've got zero willpower when it comes to this stuff. But over 600 just feels like pricey. It feels bad. I'm sure I probably still do it. But at $600, that's where I start to like.
Yeah.
That's where I really question whether or not I get both of them.
Right? Because $600. There's a trip. There's a round trip flight.
Yep.
Easy, almost anywhere in the continental United States of America. So.
Yeah, I don't know. That may force me into. I'm still on the fence at 600, but definitely not buying both. I think Tim Paulin said it in his Twitter response. $1,000 budget for both. And if they're both 600, he's choosing, and I think I might do the same thing. As painful as that would be.
Well, you can't be going out and dropping, at least $1,000 on two consoles at the same time, right? I mean, obviously you're gonna pick up the one that you are more comfortable gaming on, the one that's more fitting for you, definitely, and then wait for the other on a deal. Seems to be.
Yeah, but the backwards compatibility here is a factor. Because like some of these used stores, I know GameStop here in the United States, when the new console launches, sometimes they sweeten the trade on the old one. And they especially right now really need trades. They're kind of struggling a little bit. They're losing a lot of stores or closing a lot of shops. They're struggling to the digital sales and Amazon and everything else. If the PS5 was 600 and they gave me $350 for my PS4 Pro and it's backwards compatible with PS4, that might lessen the burden a little bit in the wallet.
Well, there you go. You're bringing home both.
Yeah. pretty much.
Basically. That's a good show. To forget about some of these places that do this such great trade-ins and whatnot, but they're few and far between nowadays.
Yeah, they are. Thinking about getting another Switch so the wife has her own Animal Crossing machine. I've got 2 Xbox One X's. I looked it up. $170 credit to trade the Xbox One X. Really? 170? That's it? Like, you know what? At this point, it's a really great 4K player under the TV before I give it to you for 170, you jerks. Man.
Yeah, I can't understand why they're going out of business at all, but oh well.
Oh my goodness. Well, good conversation. And in very related news, PS5 and Xbox Series X could be almost fully backwards compatible with the PS4 and Xbox One, says the CEO of Ubisoft. So this in a Spiel Times news article, spieltimes.com. In a recent financial call, Yves Guillemot, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, I just embarrassed myself completely, Ubisoft CEO said about the upcoming console, and I quote, "Those consoles will be running almost all the back catalog of the previous consoles. It will be something new in the industry. It will help the old generations to continue to be big consoles on the market for years to come." And I believe that to be true. But when it comes out of someone as big as he is in the industry, in Ubisoft, everyone's like, maybe he's got insider information.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Everybody's got to start putting the pieces together.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's going to happen. It's going down. I think a lot of people are very confident that that's what's going to happen. It's just a matter of when they come out and actually officially say it, I guess, if they haven't already. But yeah, I think he's kind of spot on with it. It is that important, and it keeps the longevity of a lot of older generation games, especially when there's so many now that are only playable online. So I think it helps keep those games alive a little bit longer.
Yeah, and they are just PCs nowadays, right? They're PCs you put under under your television.
Yep.
And you can upgrade PCs, and all the games may or may not work on your older PC. Maybe it just runs real sluggishly, but they work. I think that's the potential future there. We just pop the disc in, it still works. I would love to see PlayStation, man. I mean, I would be like holding my dollars in the air, screaming like a little girl, kid, child, man-child, if they went all the way back to PS1 with backwards compatibility. If they pulled that off, man, that would be impressive. We already know what Xbox is going to do. They're already doing it. They've been doing it a couple generations now, where most of the games work. Not all of them, but they have to do the extra effort. There's some patches, and then it works. So they would shock me if they made it. I think the same thing will continue for them. They'll continue to chip away at the back catalog, make those work over time. They stopped announcing new ones right now that are going to work with Xbox One X, so that when they launch the Xbox Series X, it'll be like, surprise, we added 100 or 200 more games.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's going to happen. But if PS5 pulled it off and allowed every single game in their back catalog, every one of them, to work, that'd be huge in my mind.
Yeah, if they pulled off the PS3 on there, which I think they can do. And I remember we had a similar conversation back when our friend Josh was on the show talking about that. And if they could pull off the PS3 games on there with some, serious software, that would be massive, because I think that's a bit of a stumbling block for them and whatnot, and part of their history that can't be ignored. But it was different times, just different console wars at the time then. But that would be huge. That really would, if they could pull that off without any extra hardware that's unnecessary in there. I think that's a great thing.
Would totally kick in the balls my conversation from last episode where I said that I want to go completely digital. Now with every single disc on the shelf,
oh yeah, exactly,
chuck it in, and it would totally work. So I'm not trading my shelf away. I'm still sitting on it, because that would be really great to see that happen.
Yep.
I hope it happens. What do you think? I don't think it'll happen. I think PS4 for sure. But PS3 with that weird architecture, nah, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Plus, they do like making them remasters and getting some bucks on those, right? Rather than just letting you play the old discs.
I'm happy with the remasters. There's been some that look really, really good and play so much better than the originals back on PS3 and even some of the PS2 ones. So,
but like $700, man. My 100, it goes up $100 for me if they do that.
Write the check.
That would be sweet. Write a check. Who's got checks?
Yeah, right. Like who buys consoles with check? If you buy consoles and you write a check to purchase them, let us know.
Yeah. Take a picture of your check and put it on your Instagram.
There you go.
Oh man. Well, we should talk about some games. What do you say? You know what? I was worried. We're like, Karl's not here. We've had these great like 3-person conversations going. We're gonna like Shane and I are gonna get through the first section in like 20 minutes, and we're at like 40.
Right.
That was a good topic, though. The pricing.
It was. And I know what Karl would say, but
yeah.
You
gonna share?
No, I don't think this is somewhat of a family program, so we'll get his confirmation when he's back next episode.
Why don't we get Karl back on here? It's been a little while. We need to hear his voice again. So he played through one of his backlog games, My Friend Pedro, which I also, because I was traveling and had it ready there on my Switch, and since I knew he played it and since he's sending audio in, I played some of that as well. But let's start with Karl's thoughts on My Friend Pedro, and I'll sprinkle in my 2 cents after that.
So I've been hitting up my backlog a bit more. You may remember the end of the last episode. Wasn't really sure what to go for next. I'd tackled the Witcher DLC or part of that. And was then, kind of thinking, what do I jump into now? And I'd played a little bit of My Friend Pedro, and I thought, I want to go back in. I don't want to add to the backlog pile, just might as well just get back in there, get that sorted. So that's what I did. So My Friend Pedro released last year, had some great plaudits, really good reviews, and it looked like the kind of game, a fun little, side-scrolling bullet time game, and I thought, well, that's going to be quite fun. The actual description of the game, I love it, I really do. From the store page on Steam, it just reads, My Friend Pedro is a violent ballet about friendship, imagination, and one man's struggle to obliterate anyone in his path at the behest of a sentient banana. I mean, descriptions of games don't get much better than that. Ballet is the word that jumps out to me in that description. As you go through this game, you kind of mix the styles of The Matrix with a load of LSD, and you deal out just so much slow motion gunplay in just epic proportions. It's like a side-scrolling shooter with the emphasis on taking out your enemies in style. It really does kind of give you that kind of like almost like a dance of death kind of vibe to it. You can ricochet bullets off various items, dodge them as well in like a lovely little pirouette. That ballet again. Slow down time, crash through windows, ride a skateboard, and you can even kick that skateboard into an enemy's head. In fact, you can kick a lot of things into heads, actually, in this game. That's pretty cool. You do feel badass when you combine all these abilities together, and you can kind of perform kill after kill. It just flows, just seamlessly between those. It's just so much fun, this game. I found it a real good palate cleanser. It's on Game Pass. It performs well on the PC, I quite enjoyed it, and it sprinkles in a few nice little things, I think, just stops it getting too tiresome. It's quite a simple idea. And, as the game progresses, it kind of sprinkles in little environmental hazards, different weapons. It helps it keep fresh, keep the game fresh, and, not to, one of the games you can't really put it down either. And it is a nice short game as well, probably 5 or 6 hours, I think it took me. Not much of a story either, it's kind of funny, humorous, but, not too long in the tooth. The jokes are kind of hit and miss. Some of them play on old tropes of nerds and video game people and the like, but yeah, an enjoyable game. If you've got Game Pass, I definitely recommend checking it out. I know this is on Joel's list. He's looked at this last year and just thinks, well, maybe I'll get into it at some point, get the cellophane off that one. But yeah, another game in the backlog down, my friend Pedro. It's a good time. It's a fun little game. What I play next, I've no idea. Maybe it's time for another poll. Who knows? Miss you both. I'll be back on the show next time around. Woohoo!
Miss you too, Karl. I played this.
Bless you.
I played this as well. I was traveling. Headed on the Switch. It's also available on, I think it's on PS4. I know it's on Xbox Game Pass for sure. Tells you how often I fire up my PS4. Sorry. But it is a quirky little game. So you got a little friend who's like a banana and only like shows up in next to you and just kind of gives you little quips here and there. It has really nothing to do with anything. Not really tied in. It's just for some bizarre reason you have a friend that's a banana. And when you do like a really good move combination or something, he'll like zoom in really big on the screen and you just see him make like some little like face, like whether that was awesome or whether that was really kind of like it's quirky. Reminds me of like Rolling Thunder. Remember that game? You kind of the side scrolling like shooter, maybe a little bit like Shadow Complex, which is a really great game that was out on Xbox and PC with like lots of blood. I mean, you definitely when you're killing people, there's like blood splattering everywhere. Really good physics, and then just added bits like there's spots where you ride a motorcycle. That bit where you get on the skateboard, and Karl mentioned it. That was awesome. That was so cool. All of a sudden, I mean, you're playing a Rolling Thunder style shooter, side-scrolling game, and you're riding a skateboard, and you can like ollie up onto it. There's a little bit of platforming in it. Ollie up onto a level, pick it up, like kick it into the dude's face, kill him, jump back on it, keep going. There isn't much of a story. It's really just any reason to throw a ton of baddies at you. But it's a cool little game. He said 5 to 6 hours. I think I'm like 4.5 into it, maybe. So I must be getting close to the end. But great little game. Recommend it if you haven't checked it out yet, especially if you have Game Pass.
I remember ABOG, we did a thing where we played against, I think it was like the Gamer Chatter guys and like Battlefield or something. And a couple days before, I pulled a muscle in my thumb opening a banana.
Shut up.
Yeah, I think that was the time. I don't know, but I remember trying to open up a banana because somebody had mentioned like, oh, you're supposed to open at the other end, not where the tail of the banana is. I don't know if that's the scientific term, the tail, but the other end. And I squeezed and I pulled it, and I pulled, my thumb. And it was a lot of rehab for that. It was tremendous.
Do you still open the banana the wrong way, or have you gone back to the proper, like at the let's go with the head since you said tail?
Well, no, it would be the tail.
So
I open it with the tail. I break the tail and then peel it down, as opposed to when I tried to open it by the head. I am totally confused. It might be partially due to this next beer I opened. It could be the stem, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, the stem.
If you know what that part of the banana is, let us know.
I've got this Earthquake Jake beer, which is a IPA sour, but not a fruited sour, just like an IPA sour based on the hops.
Uh-oh.
As Karl was talking there, Shane saw me pucker. It's really good though.
Nice. Yeah, some of those sours when they mix them in can be. Oh well.
Yeah. So
River City Girls.
Oh.
Yeah, man. This game came out back in September. Xbox, PS4, Switch it's on as well, I know.
So it's like River City Ransom with girls? I mean, is that what I'm taking away from that?
Yeah, a lot like that. A lot like, the old beat 'em up style games. River City Ransom. I think there's a couple developers that did this, kind of maybe like a team effort or whatnot, but I know some of them worked on the original Double Dragon back in the day, as well as Guilty Gear, BlazBlue is another one. So there's a lot of pedigree that went into this game. Great. It's a fantastic game. Excellent game. You're a side-scrolling beat-em-up fan. This is definitely, worth your time and money. River City Ransom, as Joel mentioned, definitely there. On previous generation, there's a game Scott Pilgrim versus the World that was the same kind of looks a 16-bit beat 'em up. This is the same kind of thing, except it's more like anime style, 16-bit. Beautiful, beautiful art in there. There's lots of color everywhere. Almost comic book like when it comes to the color and whatnot. You play as these two schoolgirls, Kyoko or Misako, I think it's called. I have to freshen up. It's been a while since I've been to Japan, so I think another trip is in order. But they are on a quest to find their missing boyfriends. Riveting, I know. Excellent. But yeah, it's just the whole feel of just having it plays so well. It is so smooth. Your attack combos that you unlock as you go through the game. You pick up weapons, garbage cans, a whip. You go whip other schoolmates and whatnot. Brilliant stuff.
Nice sound effect.
Right, exactly. As boss battles, I think there's 6 different levels that you go through, 6 different bosses. They all have their unique patterns and whatnot. Very, very old school. Really, really good. But I've put this on and I've played it and I can't really put it down. I just keep playing it, and you can die and continue and pick up where you left off is really, really great. So it never really feels, super frustrating. Even at the bosses, when, you've died a couple times, but you're figuring out the patterns and what their next attacks are, and putting those combos together is a lot of fun. And it can be hard, but it's not discouraging hard. It's hard because you got to learn. And once you get through it, it definitely feels really rewarding. But my main thing is I love the way the game looks. It looks phenomenal, and when you back up some solid controls behind it, it's win-win. It's an excellent beat 'em up. I go through the first level. I'm into the second world, and the way the maps go, they're actually rather large for a side scrolling. Like you can hit a doorway and it takes you to another level, kind of Metroidvania type style of doing it, but it works really, really well. I'm in this outdoor courtyard of the high school, and there's cherry blossom trees, everywhere and whatnot. And it's just like, wow, so pretty. The use of colors is done really, really well. And like I said, it's a lot like a comic book or manga as they have in the in Japan and whatnot. And I'm playing I got a physical copy that Limited Run did, and it was basically the same price as it was on the PSN store, which is I think it's like $30 US, which is a little steep. However, I mean, $20 games, 5-10 years ago, now they've pushed up to $25. It's in that ballpark of style of game. I think 30 is like the peak price point. If it's on sale, you get it down to 20. Definitely worth it. You can get a lot of gameplay out of it. Like I said, there's a lot of levels, a lot of bosses to go through. And, there's a lot of dialogue in it as well. That's enjoyable. And in the physical copy I got, it actually came with a manual. Can you believe that?
Wow. Old school.
Kids, when Joel and I were young,
long time ago,
a couple of years ago, there's video games would come with an instruction manual that would give you a bit of backstory, and it would also tell you controls, maybe have a little bit of bio of each boss that you would encounter. This instruction manual for this game has all that. Every character, like in a full size of the booklet, full color, really, really cool. And then the back portion of the manual, this is really cool. You're going to want to stick around for this. It has a warning saying, spoilers ahead if you keep reading. And you flip the book upside down, like the books that we used to sneak when we were kids, and it actually turns into a Japanese manga comic. So the past few pages, and it gives you much more of the story and whatnot. So it's a really cool tie-in that you get if you can find one of those. But regardless, it's an excellent beat 'em up game. My last note on it is the music in the game. The soundtrack is superb. Excellent. It's not like chiptune music, it's actual songs and whatnot. The music is very, very good. It's very catchy, very poppy, works extremely well with the style. Nothing sounds repetitive or it's like this tune again or anything. It is so well done. It is such a great game. I think it's one of the best beat 'em ups I've played in a while. It's just the full package, from playing extremely well to being beautiful to having great music. Solid game. I highly recommend checking it out.
Man, you sold me on it. That sounds pretty awesome. So, getting excited there for a second. The manual, I thought you were gonna. It doesn't have the last couple pages of just blank lined copy for notes. That was always the best.
I don't think it does. No.
Remember that?
No, I thought I had it here. I was looking through it earlier before we recorded and whatnot, but yeah, it's cool that they went to, the old comic book manga for the back. Just give you a little extra something in the story to find your missing boyfriends.
Yeah. In reality, it'd be like, good riddance, getting a new man.
Right?
Nah, that's married life. That's a little different.
Cool stuff, man.
Awesome. That sounds like a great game.
Yeah, and it's on the Switch too. I think it would be really great on the Switch. Kind of, you can pick up and play. You can save at any point. Really comes in handy.
I'll have to add that to my Switch wish list and then keep an eye on, see if it goes on sale.
There you go.
Nice feature. So we've got a new recommended record up on our website, courtesy of Brad. Thank you, Brad, as always. I realized the other day, Shane, Brad's been doing this for quite a few years for us. Man, time flies.
Yeah, definitely, man. He's knocked it out of the park again with another review.
Yep. Picking up the slack for us here. We're going video game focused, but he's keeping these recommended records going. So I mentioned it last episode, and he just posted it. His review of Green Day's Father of All Motherfuckers is up on our website. So go to abandonedgamers.com. That's abandofgamers.com. Give that a read. He also had posted it in our Discord server, which is also available on our website there at the bottom. So click on that, join Discord if you haven't already, and check out everybody else's thoughts from the community on the record. Some great thoughts in there, including mine, Shane's, and Karl's, and all of our great community members.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those albums that's it's been a bit polarizing. I think it's either one or the other. People either absolutely love it or they're absolutely hating it, and it's great to see all these diverse opinions on it from everybody that's listened to it. So definitely get into Discord and check that out.
And he's going to be posting in Discord as well his next recommended album. So after you read that Green Day, and there's a YouTube link on there, you can listen to it as well there on our website. But the next album he's recommending, which you'll also be able to comment in Discord. And I think Brad's going to start sharing in future reviews some of your comments as well. So be sure and get in on this. The next record is Super Suckers, Play That Rock and Roll. I believe he's going back to like a classic album. And reviewing that as a recommended, or suggesting it as a recommended.
Intrigued. I'm looking forward to giving this one a listen and putting my thoughts in there too.
Awesome, man. I can't wait to read them and give it a listen as well. But hopefully you can check it out. Leave some comments in Discord. You can also send us an email. We love getting emails. Love to get a few more. So consider that, abogpod@gmail.com. We got a good one this week. It says, hello once again. I must say, to me, the true console wars are over. I remember getting a Sega Master System, NES, SNES, Genesis, TurboGrafx, Duo, Neo Geo, 3DO, and Atari Jaguar. Well, now he's just bragging.
Right?
Yeah. Honestly, I pick up the console that has the games that I know I will play and enjoy. Yes, I have mostly been with Sony consoles and the Switch Lite due to my love for RPG games. I am not a fanboy on the PlayStation, but there are more games that I liked. I wish that Nintendo and Sony would do a Game Pass type feature as the Xbox One. I see that digital games will be the only way to game in the next 5 years. So he's predicting physical copies are going bye-bye. Plus, exclusive games will be a thing of the past in the next several years. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Probably right, maybe. Well, I leave you with this question. Are there any games you enjoy playing a second time around, even if it's a remastered version? Mine is the Ys series. Later, Mike Bothy. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for the email. Not sure I agree on the exclusivity. I mean, Microsoft just bought a bunch of studios. So at least for the next 5 years, at least, exclusive games are going to be a thing. It's going to be the way that these companies differentiate themselves. And we see it with like video streaming as well. You can get Netflix, you can get Hulu, you can get Amazon, you can get Disney Plus, HBO, Apple TV, but they each have a few little bits of content that are only on their services, and that's how they differentiate themselves. Otherwise, you buy one, you get everything. I mean, we all hope and wish that there's one streaming service and one console or that has everything, but sadly, that's not the case. The more of these services that are out there, and I think the more consoles that are out there, the more we're going to see each have their own little bits that are exclusive to their systems or their platforms that make you want to subscribe or sign in.
And diversity is good. You know, everybody's different. Everybody has different favorites and what works for them. And that should be no different with video games or movies or anything. And having, you know, one service that you really like, that one that really speaks to you, and that, you know, may not speak to your friends the same way, is good. And then, you know, you get together and share experiences, which I think is the best part.
Yeah, that is question, Shane. Remastered version, playing it a second time through. Anything on your list?
Immediately comes to mind was GTA 5, Grand Theft Auto 5 that came out on the PS3. I played through the story, loved it. And then it was rumored that it was going to come out on, you know, PS4, Xbox One, and it did. And I played through it again on there as well. The story itself, because it was so good, and it was fantastic. So that one right off the cuff. And the online is fantastic on that game. They're still, all these years later, they're still supporting the online. They're still adding new stuff. I think they still add new vehicles like every couple of weeks, it seems like. But it's crazy. It's a lot of fun. The game kind of looks a little bit dated at this point, after playing, you know, a bunch of other games, and you put that in. Sometimes it kind of looks a little bit grainy at times, but it's still beautiful. Still great game. But yeah, that's off the top of my head, that one right away.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, you know what I would like a lot, and they did it once already. I just don't think they did a very good job with it. But
Wakeboarding?
Tony Hawk, not wakeboarding. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Yes,
I would love to see a proper remaster of that. They did it. There was one on, I think, the 360. Maybe it was the Xbox One. I forget. It was on Xbox. It just didn't.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel right.
No, it was a bit clunky, and it wasn't like a full game either. It was like half remastered, like an old one, but there was other stuff they added to it, and a bunch of stuff they didn't. It was really weird.
Yeah, either that or SSX Tricky.
Yes.
Similar style game, but give me the Tony Hawk Pro Skater or the SSX remastered, feeling the same comfortable controls, the same like perfect smoothness, tight controls, and that's what makes those games great, right? So when they released the Pro Skater clunky version, it was bad. I mean, and then they changed. I mean, because of music licensing, some of the songs had changed, and that also made it like sort of hard to play because you have all those songs in your head from the memories playing that game, and they changed some of the tunes and stuff. And
100%, man. Those older Tony Hawk games. Underground 2 was my favorite, and I remember just, you know, Friday night or whatnot, you have a long week at work, and pick yourself up a little sack of beer and put that in, put some tunes on, and it was just like everything, all the moves, like muscle memory. I could just everything rolling, you know, square, triangle, and putting it all together, and just not even, you know, doing like the story or anything, just like skating around and just having fun. That's, you know, so good.
great email. Thanks so much, Mike. I appreciate it. He's a champ. All right, we made it. We did it without Karl, but next episode, Karl will be back with us. We love this three-headed monster here at ABOG. We even had a rule last couple years, right? If one of us can't make it, we're not doing it. but
Yeah.
we're really determined this year to keep it on track, keep it consistent every other week. So we went without Karl, even though it hurts our hearts. Glad he sent in some audio there for us to use, keep him in the show.
Exactly. It's always it's been fantastic, a lot of times. But we're committed to you and bringing you the best in video game podcasting. Every 2 weeks, you're going to get a fresh episode. 2020, we're dialed in. You're loving it. We know you love it, and we're loving it too. It's been fantastic. So we appreciate you tuning in with us.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. We appreciate it. You guys are the best. Join us on Discord. Love to have you over there. Get some conversation going. It's a good time. Such great people.
Yeah,
I mean,
get in there.
Shane, Karl, and I met through this thing. I mean, it's special. Make some great friends. Hook up with some like-minded people.
Exactly.
Genuine.
So many people in there. We're talking a lot of video game talk in there. We got a little bit of music talk going on. We have some beer chats. People posting delicious beers, food. People posting great meals. So many conversations. It's there's something for everyone there. So don't be shy. Get in, say hi, and be a part of it with us.
That's right. I miss Karl, so I think we should fade out on this. Need to hear him again.
San Francisco. Well, it makes a change not to be saying hello from Birmingham. Grey old Birmingham. Today I'm in the sun. And it's been nothing but sun since we got here. God, it's so nice. Such a lovely city, San Francisco. It's in the park, gone cycling over the bridge, just had a good potter about, been on the cable cars and Alcatraz and stuff. I tell you what, this is a great place. I understand why it comes hardly recommended. Saturday this morning.
So there was a horn in there. Oh, I thought it was at your house. I wasn't sure where that horn came from.
Did he really cycle across the Golden Gate Bridge? Because that's what he's implying.
That's a big bridge.
That's what I'm saying. He's saying he cycled. Like this is something that, don't understand. Karl is well fit. Like, we hung out. One thing I didn't expect. I know he had these golden locks and whatnot.
Oh yeah,
gorgeous dude. But I didn't realize he was that chiseled. Like the guy will destroy pizza, drinking beer and whatnot. And the guy's chiseled. I mean, it's insane. And now he's cycling across the Golden Gate Bridge. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and if he gets the right wind though with that hair, could provide some aerodynamics. Right? He's getting like a little push on that cycle, or if he's against the wind, that's going to be a disadvantage.
You know what I mean? Because the news would be reporting like, there's like a locust invasion in the Bay Area and whatnot, and then they zoom in and it's just panties.
Oh my God, that is a long bridge. It's a long bridge, and they have a toll on that bridge when you come like out of town into San Francisco. But it's not a typical toll where they stop you and you pay the cash. It's just go through and then remember to go later and pay it, or you're screwed.
Yeah, they like nab your license plate or whatnot, or
like a
or
camera.
Bill you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man, that Mr. Bungle show, dude.
Ripper.
Oh,
saw some great shots of Scotty in there.
Oh my God. Freaking out still like a week later. Just that was amazing. It was amazing. And they played music that nobody knew. Like they played their demo that they recorded in high school.
Oh man.
And it was just heavy, like death metal. And they're usually kind of horns, kind of crazy circus stuff. It look different than what they've done in their 3 albums proper on Warner Brothers, their major releases.
Yeah.
They go back and play their demo and didn't give a shit. They're like, great. Here's more songs you don't know. Start tearing into them.
And people losing their minds.
Oh my God. It was so awesome. So amazing. And Scott Ian and Dave Lombardo. Dude. Wow. Scott Ian. I've never seen Scott Ian before. I'm a fan of SOD. I like Anthrax. I've never seen him play before. That man is like the best metal rhythm guitar player. Dave Mustaine aside. Dave Mustaine's a shit. But like as far as rhythmic, just chunky power chord stuff, man, Scott Ian killed it. Just killed it. And
nice.
Grinning ear to ear. just like, I am so happy to be here right now, you know, like just loving every minute of it. And they even played an SOD cover, which is great, rather than Speak English or Die, the title track, which Mike Patton sang, Speak Spanish or Die.
Yes.
So fantastic. It was a great show, man. Dragged my wife along, and even she was like, this was fantastic. It was pretty cool. I'm like, that's your first death metal show, right? She's like, I saw Metallica. I'm like, no.
Yeah, that's
not death metal. And she saw him on the Justice for All tour. So,
oh wow,
that's cool. Like, I mean, that's close, but that's not death metal.
Yeah,
it was great, man. Ears were ringing for like a day. It was fantastic. Met another guy from Milwaukee, Karl, was there with his lovely wife, and then my buddy PJ and like he had saw it the week before, at the weekend before, and then they did a second San Francisco show, and they had opened up some last minute tickets. So he's like, this show is so amazing. I'm going again. Got to see it twice. So awesome. Man.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I'm not sure we're going to include that in the episode, but it was good getting it out. Oh, it was a great show.
Right.
Man. And Scott Ian had this custom made Jackson Flying V. Oh, it just sounded so great. And I immediately, like the next day from my hotel room on my phone was like, how much is this guitar? It's like $600. And then I did more research. I'm like, there's no way that is a $600. I mean, that sounded incredible. Then I found there's like a $4,000 version of that guitar. That's the one he has. I mean, man. And I did some research. How much is Scott Ian worth? $6 million. Like, that's not a $600,000. All right.
I am recording on Sunday, but this is a little tiny snippet. You won't hear from me too much this episode. I should be, diving in and put my little comments here and there to, just leave my mark. I don't like to leave these boys alone too long. I'm currently sat looking at my hotel window, looking across Union Square at Macy's while I finish off a lemon meringue cheesecake, the Cheesecake Factory in Macy's with a cup of coffee.
Lucky bastard.
Looking at the blue sky. Hear the cable cars go past, look at the birds. It's a hard life. It really is. But I'll be back with you next week, and I'm sure John and Shane have got a ripper of an episode lined up for you. Ta-ta.
Turned out all right.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it was excellent. I'm just looking at pictures of Scotty and playing with Strumble.
Oh, God. Go to YouTube, man. Like just the people with the modern day, right? People holding up their phones. They got the whole show from like multiple angles that I saw on YouTube.